Hey everyone, last Thursday, und Panzer Dream Tank Match was announced for the PS4. To say the least, I am certainly excited for it, so I thought it would be a good time to test und Panzer Master the Tankery on the Vita for its original performance, and its performance with Oclockvita activated. To preface this, I'll be covering the whole experience in the story mode, and some of the time I spent in Battle Royale mode. Just a tidbit about the resolution. According to my pixel counts, und Panzer is rendered at 544p without anti-aliasing, so the game has a crisper look in some areas, and it's very noticeable with wires. Master the Tankery has substantial loading times to load a mission or a custom Battle Royale match, so Oclockvita could potentially save bigger amounts of time when compared to other Vita games. And it does just that. For this test, I compared loading times from both a cartridge and a digital version loading off of a SanDisk Cruiser Ultra 3.0 USB plugged into the PSTV, both with and without Oclockvita. From the cartridge and USB, loading times with Oclockvita improved from around 3 to 3.5 seconds when compared to their counterparts without Oclockvita. And when comparing loading times from the PSTV to its cartridge counterparts, there is roughly a 1 to 1.5 seconds difference. Regarding framerate caps, the game is normally capped at 20 FPS across all areas of the game. However, what's odd is that the framerate cap for the menus and dialogue cutscenes will be increased from 20 FPS to 30 FPS after you exit any match. With that said, the 20 frames per second cap actually fits the tanky nature of the game, what with you driving tanks. But the game being sub 30 FPS wouldn't really be noticeable outside of panning your camera using the Vita's face buttons, as long as the game kept its frame rates consistent so that you would get consistently paced frames. However, there is one glaring issue that interrupts the experience, and that is the game's dialogue. und Panzer Master the Tankery's story mode missions includes dialogue at many points, commonly at the beginning of a mission, after a cutscene in the middle of the mission, or once you hit a checkpoint. But there are also conversations that happen among the crew members across the story mode and the Battle Royale mode. These instances don't impact the game's performance, but it's other times that the game stutters. Dialogue is commonly triggered when you fire a shot, receive damage, or destroy a tank, which is when the game has stutters that last from 96 to 144 milliseconds. This is unfortunately the same case on both default and maximum performance, but the game won't stutter if dialogue is already being played. So if you're interested in playing the game for just the story mode, which has a lot of longer dialogues between many characters in the show's cast, you won't experience this phenomenon as much. If you're going to play any missions or custom matches in Battle Royale mode, you will only have the conversations between crew members to eliminate these stutters. In addition, the game also stutters when it loads scenes from the anime after hitting certain checkpoints, which can last up to 336 milliseconds. With all that in mind, let's talk frame rates, first on the default clock speeds. Master the Tankery doesn't have any problem handling smaller maps as far as story mode and Battle Royale missions are concerned, which normally pit the player against mostly 2 tanks at a time. Larger maps generally have stable performance, but pockets of dips can be seen once over 7 tanks are on screen, which is a common occurrence, since these bigger maps are fitted with more tanks. The story mode has 2 missions, Chapter 4-3 and 5-1, where the framerate has a severe drop and sits around 15 frames per second, and can drop to 13 frames per second. This means und Panzer Master the Tankery would require more than the 33% increase in GPU speeds that we have to completely rid these missions of drops. On maximum performance, the first section now sits around 17 frames per second, and the second section operates from 16 to 20 frames per second. Otherwise, Oclockvita mostly takes care of these dips seen in open maps, but I still came across one case of dipping in the campaign. That's all for me, so I'll leave a couple more comparison scenes to play. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.
おやりになるの